last time I drove it, it felt like it was kind of falling off after around 80 or 100 miles an hour. That's no longer the case. This tune, these bolt-ons have changed the car. And I know I'm making big flames out of the back too, so everyone behind me is just like losing their shit. Let me talk about GTRs and why I don't own one and probably never will, but why I still really enjoy driving them. GTRs are big, heavy, straight line, silly cars that have this weird ability of masking reality. But here's the beauty of the GTR. You can go from a dig, you can pull it out of a parking lot with lock, floor it, and the car will just figure itself out. You do that in like an M3 or any rear wheel drive, an AMG car, you're gonna end up with problems because you're gonna end up just spinning tires and it's not gonna go well for you. Hopefully if you're learning to drive in a GTR, you don't think it's reality because you're gonna die in whatever car you drive next. But that's the charm of the GTR, is that it's like, no matter what you do to this car, even if you put like 800, 900 horsepower in it, it will find traction for you. So you can't see Mikey next to me, but he's the owner. He works for a performance shop. This car's been through quite a few iterations, and now we're at this point. It's silly, it's fun. It's not the fastest GTR on the street, but it is a fast GTR, and I think it's like what you'd want to do on stock turbos.
Well, car's full bolt-on. It's got all the supporting mods really need to do on these cars for, you know, stock turbo and stuff. Makes plenty of power. It's, I would say, low mid 600s at the tire, and really doesn't take much. Full intake, full exhaust, intercooler charge pipe, and E85s really make the big difference on these cars. I mean, you know, picking up nearly 100 horsepower from a fuel type is, you know, it's pretty cool when you talk about being able to do all these capabilities that this car has, using the factory ECU in the car.
If I hit the cancel button, I can see, it tells me right here in the display that, like, oh, it's reading that it's 60, which is cool. So if we were to go and say, like, okay, we're gonna go put in nice clean, we know it's actually E85, we'll be able to monitor that. So that way, if it feels like it's pulling power, we know exactly why. So the car has a rolling launch control.
Cruise on, hit this down once, mat it, and then hit cancel.
So hold it down and mat it?
Tap it down once.
Like that?
And,
that's fun. See, I can come out of that and just get in it, and there's no drama whatsoever. The car's just like, hey, oh, that was a 928. You gotta hear this with the windows down. Just silly. When I picked up this car, it had a full tank of gas. We are already down a quarter tank. I've probably driven it 20 miles, optimistically 20 miles. And that's just a few pulls. Like, you can literally just watch the fuel gauge reduce itself. It's kind of like just the opposite of the tack. It's just ridiculous. I think the charm of using like the stock small turbos, whatever you want to call it, is that they spool up quick. You know, when you start going to a big turbo setup, it starts being less and less usable on a fun back road. So although I know it's a real exciting thing to be able to say you on low boost or at, like, you know, 750 wheel, I also think that there's something to be said for being able to like apply a small amount of throttle and reach boost, right? I mean, that's like a nice luxury to have. You can feel it just feeding torque to the front and rear. This is so much fun on a back road. Who would have thought GTRs could be this enjoyable? I can't believe how much torque you can put down with this. Like, it's still super capable. I mean, I know people don't like look at these as like back road joyride cars, but like this actually, I mean, for the weight, this is like a hoot, man. I'm having fun. I didn't think it would be that enjoyable. What are we on for tires? I don't even remember. I didn't look.
These are 4S's.
Oh, good job, Michelin. I turned off the snap, crackles, and pops for that run because I felt like it might annoy other people. And And that's a way to call attention to yourself. Like, that's kind of like that, those ace car meets in the UK, where it's like, oh, I wonder why there's like 400 cops hanging around here. Oh, it's because everyone's shooting flames and doing like 4th gear burnouts. When we first got in the car, it was basically reading E60. So we've burned probably 30% of the tank, and we just put E85 in it. So according to our little gauge here, we're reading E68. So we've got much more ethanol than we originally had. We'll see what it sounds like under the tunnel. Yeah, I think it's a little faster.
Oh my gosh.
Not slow, guys, not slow. This car is not slow.
Now we're in R mode.
Silly. Just...
Do you feel the difference?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's got more up top for sure. It's kind of got my heart going a little bit. Like, that doesn't happen a whole lot to me lately. Like, and I'm feeling like, oh, I'm feeling some things. Look at how beautiful it is now that the leaves are changing. Just enjoying the day. Just a couple of bros, some E85,
Yup.
GTR with full bolt-ons. I feel like going to Mexico. You have to like commit to staying in it because you're just like, I know it's not giving me everything it's got yet. Like, you're like, it's got more, it's still building.
Forever.
Whew. And that's only a 2.3, and that's the thing, this car is definitely set up to go and do way more damage than that, because if it's boost by gear, we're not getting it all.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's just so bonkers. What a psycho machine. Well, guys, thank you for spending a hangover day with me in a nice, fast bolt-on GTR. I'm really thankful to have friends who call me and say, dude, I know you've already driven it, but you gotta drive it again. That's maybe my favorite statement in the world, is you gotta drive it again. That's the best thing ever. So thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive, and I'll see you in the next one. Got one more tunnel. That's a wrap.
I don't know, man. I always knew this car was going to be the one, and I always envisioned it as being the perfect, ultimate street car, right? Straight line performance, braking performance, handling, and then the reliability too, right? And the fact that I have all the practicality of all-wheel drive for winter, heated seats, XM, Bluetooth, Bose.
Yeah, it does. I mean,
it has all the amenities.
For a New England car, and we're sitting here like drinking Dunkin' Donuts right now, not sponsored. Well, the all-wheel drive thing definitely makes a lot of sense, because not that I'm a huge all-wheel drive believer. I do believe that like all-wheel drive is a little overhyped. You can get away with front and rear-wheel drive as long as you get a good snow tire. Because remember, all-wheel drive only helps you go, it does not help you stop. This on snow tires would be just an absolute beast. So what's the limitation right now? Like, if you, like, are you maxed out on boost?
Turbos are probably the limitation. Mainly the big limitations on these cars are the connecting rods and the transmission. Both are torque limited, really, somewhere around 650. And that's kind of sort of where stock turbos tap out in the car. So it's kind of really sort of all three aspects kind of really cap out at the same area. And this is kind of sort of why most people leave the cars as is at full bolt-on. It's plenty fast, does basically everything you need it to.